Hello everyone, can you hear me? Can somebody say that or type in chat? Cool, cool. Oh my god, you cannot imagine how complicated the setup in OBS comparing to doing anything in Terraform. So Terraform is easier, all of this AWS is easier, but setting up printers and setting up streams turned out to be the most complicated part. As you can see, something is going on my screen. So let me put some windows away and you should be able to see just what is necessary. 1 second. I will move some windows around. It's my first stream ever, so I have no clue what I'm doing, but it should be fun. Okay, so let's see. This is supposed to be starting page of this stream. Yeah, Terraform is love. Okay, good. Thanks again for attending my initial commit stream. And for those who don't know what I'm doing or who am I, I'd like to introduce myself very briefly. So my name is Anton. I'm AWS community hero, as well as also I'm founder of company which specialize in infrastructure as code, DevOps, and different reusable components. And I've been doing pretty active work, talking to many different companies and customers, and I always wanted to see how Terraform can be used or how people use it. So that's, oops, sorry. So that's what I've been publishing different articles, speaking at conferences, and overall I like learning how things can be done. So for the last 5 years, I've been active in different open source projects. The latest one is serverless TF, where I focus on doing serverless using Terraform on AWS. And it was pretty interesting project, and I will continue working on it as time allows me, because we actually use it internally at my work. So another project which I made was Terraform cost estimation, because it turned out that a lot of people wants to know how much money infrastructure is going to cost, and why not calculate it for them. And the big one which I want to focus us today is going to be Terraform AWS modules, and this is actually a collection of modules which managed as a team or as a community, and these modules are also very popular, and more than 15 million provisions so far. I think it's pretty good for open source project to my mind. Pre-commit Terraform is collection of Git hooks, because we should not worry about space versus tabs or any other formatting at all. And just 1 second, I think this is better now. And yeah, and you can go to Terraform AWS DevOps repository to see more projects where I'm involved or what exactly I'm doing. So one thing which I want to make clear is what is this stream about? Well, this stream is actually for two things. First thing is that I want to practice myself how all of this streaming magic works, because it turned out that we will be doing streaming and online activities for more than we wanted to do or than we planned at the beginning of this year. So far this year I only travel, I think, like 7 times. That's not enough. So let's share information in more virtual way. And let's put it also from focusing just on me, because I mean, believe me, I can talk about myself for a very long time, but it's not just me. So first, I want to really say big thanks to these guys who are doing great job helping me and other people maintaining Terraform AWS modules, answering countless questions, and providing a lot of support to all modules which you can find on Terraform AWS modules. So Tierna, Brandon, Max, Bryant, Daniel, and Ilya. I apologize if I pronounce your name slightly incorrect because Russian is my native language, but as you can see, I can also speak English. So this stream today will be entirely in English, and just because I want to see how things work, and if there will be more interest in such topics in Russian, no problem, we can switch to Russian next time. Or if you want me to practice any other language, we can do this as well. So what I want to do today more specifically is that there are, well, the first thing, yeah, I will also read YouTube chat and occasionally reply. So why not Ukrainian? Of course, we will speak Ukrainian as well, because I'm from Ukraine and I should be practicing Ukrainian more, but I usually speak Russian. Apologize for that. Well, I'm from that part of the country where we speak Russian more. So yeah, feel free to write questions in YouTube chat. There is also a stream to Twitch, but I don't think it actually worked because of different configuration settings which I forgot to set. Anyway, this time is just on YouTube. So please write your questions in chat, and yeah, and I will answer them as time goes by. Also, I want to highlight that this is first video which I'm making where I have 45 or 44 likes and no dislikes. So it cannot believe. I mean, I simply cannot realize that nobody disliking my video so far. Well, I'm from Ukraine and from a city called Kharkov, which is on east part of Ukraine. So question was already about what do you think about Pulumi? Well, if we are starting trolling me already, that's a good good starting point. So yeah, Pulumi, CDK, and all other things. I think we will go in more details slightly later. The reason for that is that I want to focus primarily on Terraform AWS modules today, because there are so far 1,200, so 1,200 emails which I have not replied yet. So if you open issue on Terraform AWS modules and you have not heard back from me, then you know that I have your email in inbox, so I will definitely reply at some point. If not me, then someone else will reply to you. Well, so Terraform AWS modules. I'm not sure what just wait a bit means. Should I wait or should you guys wait? Okay. Nevertheless, I think we can continue. So Terraform AWS modules, as I mentioned earlier, is a big collection. So there are 33 repositories right now managed by at least these people who are doing this pretty much on daily basis. They reply issues and review pull requests and discuss different cases with the community. One module which is exceptionally popular is not VPC module anymore, it is EKS. And people who are working on this module are doing so great job that now it is absolutely the first standard way of deploying EKS or managing EKS using Terraform on AWS. So big thanks to all of people involved into that. And as you can see, inside of that module, we still have some issues open and some pull requests open. But as I like to think, and Mitchell expressed this several times, that if there are issues, then this means that this product is popular. Well, I completely agree with this statement, but I kind of disagree with it, or I was thinking about this differently when I first heard it from Mitchell a few years ago, that, well, there are a lot of issues, shouldn't we fix all of them? And after a few years and using Terraform AWS provider, we can all see that there are 2,400 issues, a lot of pull requests. For me, this is a little bit too much, but that's life, and that's how development is happening. If we are looking into Terraform itself, there are 1,300 issues open with more than 100 pull requests open, which means a lot of work has to be done. But going back to EKS module, so people who are maintaining this stuff, they're doing a lot of releases, a lot of work is put through into making a reusable module which can satisfy a large amount of cases, a large amount of setups, and that's exactly the main purpose of Terraform AWS modules. If you look into other modules which people create internally, or which they don't want to publish, that's because usually they don't think about different use cases and different scenarios. In most cases, they are just happy with the way how things are. So that's not the case with Terraform AWS modules, and we are really pushing hard to make it to satisfy a large amount of cases. If there is a request for some feature which will take more time and more efforts for us to maintain in long run, then we tend to skip this issue and don't prioritize it. So we encourage people to, unfortunately, fork this one and keep their own branch. As you can see, now there is more than 1,100 forks and a little bit more stars. For me, this indicates that people are liking more than willing to fork and maintain their own fork, which is a good sign. So this stream will be recorded, and yes, it will be available on YouTube afterwards. Saltovka rules. Saltovka is region of city where I'm from, and actually I am from North Saltovka. So yes, it's pretty cool to stream in English about topics which I like with people who know this region of the city where I'm from. That's pretty cool. So we can talk about EKS module in more details, but I really would like to bring on board next time someone from core contributor, and I really want to hear from them how they are thinking about the future of this module. And there are a few issues which are pretty active. Well, we can probably see by amount of comments. There are a few issues related to the complexity. Well, I don't remember the name of it right now, but this module is definitely complicated. And we can see how this complexity can be improved. Oh yeah, this one. Is the complexity of this module getting too high? Oh my god, of course. Yes, that's why I put Upfold. So yeah, if you also think that this is getting too complicated, or you want to see where the development of this one is going, please go there and jump into this discussion, and I'm sure that it will be interesting and helpful for many of you. Okay, so other thing which I want to mention in Terraform AWS modules specifically is that there are many other modules for common situations, like if you need to set up load balancers, or if you need to manage different IAMs, resources like policies, permissions, groups, users, and so on. There is module for that. also there is module for relational database service, of course module for VPC, which is one of the most popular, and modules for spinning up Atlantis, and a few other things. There are a few modules which I was working recently related to serverless, like Terraform AWS Lambda module. And if you are doing serverless, I really encourage you to take a look into this module, because this module does significant part of serverless work, which you can do using, let's say, serverless framework or SAM, or you can do it using different other tools. But if you are already using Terraform, then it's hard to imagine that you will prefer to use different tools for different technologies just because there is a case for that. Well, you can use Terraform for much more than just provisioning basic, easy infrastructure. And Lambda is really complicated thing to work with, so I encourage you to check out and use it. Okay, so we have a few other things which we can do today. So the first one which I'm thinking we can do is that, well, I'm gonna to go through pretty much random. To be honest, I didn't prepare any specific issue in any specific module, but I just want to show you how things are actually done, or how I'm planning it, or how I'm, let's say, thinking about different use cases or different issues. So what I mean by that is that I will look into what is it? RDS? No, RDS is. If you have any specific issue which was already submitted into Terraform AWS modules, and you think that we need to talk about it, or we need to go through it and maybe fix it, I think it's a pretty good idea. Just mention it in the chat, and I will take a look. Maybe it's doable to do in short amount of time. Preferably, I don't want to make very long feature, and I don't want to make it really boring for many people. Well, can you show TerraGrant in action? Let's put it this way. This stream is for Terraform AWS modules. I've heard several requests already from people willing to see TerraGrant more, and definitely I will be able to do this. Meanwhile, I just want to mention that there is a project which is TerraGrant reference architecture inside of my GitHub, which I updated on May 2020, and it's pretty decent, and it contains enough information to get started. This can't be boring at all. Well, I know, but let's start with Terraform AWS modules first, and then TerraGrant. It's pretty big thing anyway. Yeah, so will I fix bugs in Terraform modules? Exactly. So that's what I'm willing to do right now. So to do that, I'm just looking for let's say easy fix to start with, and I'm asking if you have any specific thing which you want to fix. There are several types of issues which people open on different modules. Many of them are questions, like support for MySQL 8.0. Is there support for MySQL 8.0? Well, I have no clue, but I go to Google and I type, is there support for MySQL 8.0 in AWS RDS? And then it says, is now support. Excellent. So, actually the whole article is about this. Cool. So then I go to that issue and write, yes, there should be a support for MySQL 8.0. according to AWS release notes. And I can also say that another place where I'm sure that this person could go to Google and ask Google themselves. But another thing which I usually do is that I have Terraform AWS provider open where I see changelog. So this is one of my homepage for quite a long time. And this is a place where I can just search MySQL and see which version Terraform AWS provider got support for MySQL. So MySQL, there is no MySQL here, at least MySQL 8 specifically. I mean, it's too late. So the reason why I'm doing this instead of writing code and doing this work instead is that usually I'm able to find answer in documentation, either changelog or AWS release note, or if I go to AWS console, or if I go to, let's say, issues on this provider, much faster than if I write code and then run it and then wait for 10 minutes for something to happen, or if it will be able to create this. So I really prefer users to do a little bit more before they ask questions. And right now I'm often struggling with explaining what exactly would be helpful for me to get this from users. So that's another challenge. But anyway, MySQL 8, if I go to this one, again, there is no open issue, but if there is anything closed, well, there are a lot of issues related to MySQL and 8. So another thing which I can do, so I didn't find anything in documentation, but I found something in release notes. So then I go to, I don't know if you can see now, but you should be able to see it. I go to the source code of this RDS module, and there, so this is source code on my local computer already. I have all of my Terraform AWS modules in one folder, so that it's easy for me to search and apply different magic there. So here I'm usually going to go to README, because I often don't remember all features in all modules. So I'm just like active user of this stuff. I go to search, and I go to find what is actually supported version, not supported version, and so on. So here I can see that I was working with 5.7, which was probably around the time when this module was written. Yes, exactly. It was, well, it was 3 years ago. Oh my God, time flies. So yeah, Terraform registry was actually released 3 years ago. Woohoo! Yeah, it's funny. Okay, so let's see how this can be done also. So there are submodules which implement in this feature, and there is also examples. Well, I cannot say more and highlight more how important examples are. Examples are essentially the only place which I go and where I have to execute some changes, or I can try out something. What it means for me is that when somebody asks a question, I go to complete MySQL, and this is a place where I have working code. 99% of examples in Terraform AWS modules can be executed using just Terraform init, Terraform plan, Terraform apply, without passing any arguments. This is done because there are usage of data sources. So data sources are using information to get default VPC and subnets and so on. So this person say that something is not working like is MySQL 8.0 supported? Well, I can go here, I can write 8.0. Well, my keyboard suddenly stopped working, but if I write 8, yes, of course now everything is not working so well because of demo effect. So yeah, hello JetBrains, you are eating 100% of CPU now. Well, anyway, so once I wrote 8.0, I have no clue which patch version I should be using, so that's why I put this link here to figure out which versions of MySQL are actually supported. So once this page open, then I can see 8.0.20 is supported on RDS. I see briefly through this document to find different nodes. Maybe there are some difference between 5.7 and 8.0 inside of infrastructure services, not in services itself, because I have no clue what is the difference in features between these. But in general, I can see that there are no big section about Node. Just some plugins are available in version 8.0. Well, okay. And yeah, the rest is pretty straightforward. So it gives me pretty good confidence that if I put here 20, well, I put 0.20. Yeah, it's a little bit crazy to have IntelliJ with so many files open. It's quite often that it doesn't work this way. Okay, good. So I type stop. 10 seconds delay is pretty exciting. Cool. Okay, so let's put just this value. So then the next magic which I'm doing is just go into this. Well, I go to of course, right before this, I used to restart my terminal, so I lost some credentials. Now I injected some credentials from Secret Hub. Secret Hub is a third-party tool which I use for storing static credentials. Well, it's a little bit crazy because okay, let's see. Good. So now I assumed role for 12 hours and I should be able to do whatever I want. I go to which module was it? Well, I can see that running OBS on the same machine was not the smartest decision which I made, but at least it is one of the smartest so far during the day. So I can fix it next time. Now OBS is eating 200% of CPU, which is making everything extremely slow. Nevertheless, I go to examples, complete MySQL, and if I run the same commands, I always run Terraform init because I need to download something, and then I go to run apply. I'm not necessarily gonna to apply this because it will just take a lot of time, and I'm probably gonna to see some plan validation by Terraform AWS provider, which they implement for more and more resources right now. But this time I want to run it because I'm not really sure that these settings will be enough. well, it's really crazy to wait when I type yes and wait. And of course I will make mistake when I type yes. So let's just yeah, searching. No. Okay, if I run with auto approve, I don't have to type yes, because typing 3 characters can be challenging when CPU is more than 200%. At least now it will be fine. So while it's doing something, I can go to console and see if I go to RDS service, which is least popular service for me for the last many years, because I don't work with relational database. I prefer to use DynamoDB more and more. So, oh my god, yeah, typing is crazy today. You cannot use log types audit with version 8.20. Well, that's probably what they meant in AWS documentation, but I didn't quite understand it. So this means that in order to use this this module, you still need to understand how AWS work and what are limitations of it. Error messages like this sometimes does not give you enough information. So what I often do is that I just Google this help, this string, and I can see what it means either on AWS documentation, Terraform AWS provider, or if this is an issue inside of Terraform itself, then I can search Terraform source code and find it. Okay, now I disable this log export plugin. Well, I guess if I kill OBS right now, it will terminate everything. So it's not really the most effective thing to do during live stream. But I read in documentation that if I kill OBS fast enough and restart it fast, then it will be very smart to understand that I'm actually continuing this stream. That's pretty cool. But anyway, I don't want to do this. Oh my god, there is chat. Right. Yeah, so please zoom. Well, it depends on which window you mean that. I guess it is gonna to help if I do this. So another thing is that option groups is for MySQL 5.7 and database instance is 8.0. Yes, in fact, database option groups and parameter groups is one of the most trickiest parts working with RDS, as far as my experience goes. So that's where I need to be pretty careful, because if I create one parameter group for one version and then reuse it across the same, let's say I have multiple databases which share the same parameter group and option groups, I will have a lot of challenges deleting resources. So that's why there are submodules in RDS module, which can be used to do just one thing. So let me know if I need to increase font even more, because I'm not really seeing what's going on and how you guys can read it or not. So now I put another value for MySQL 8.0 in option groups. Well, now it's so tricky. Okay, I think I'm able to put correctly Terraform apply auto approve, and if I wait a little bit more, then it should it should do the job. So as you can see, overall, I'm not doing anything complicated at all. The only thing which I could have done better is that if I work with, again, MariaDB plugin is not available for that version, so I need to disable that as well. Well, there is no options at all then, because the whole options contains just one element. So I will disable this. So as you can see, I'm doing some changes and running it again. And I could have simplified this by talking to professional DBA who understand what is what are the limitations of all of this. But I met one DBA in my life, and I don't think he knew so much about RDS, to be honest, because he knew about one specific database, which wouldn't help here. But anyway, now it's doing something, it's destroying something because it has already created it, and now it's spinning up instance. So when I can see creating, it means that now verification by Terraform AWS provider has been already passed. So it means that if there is a plant type verification implemented in this resource, then it would have passed. Now I just go to this RDS. So if I search here for RDS service, still destroying, still updating resources can take a little bit time, but anyway, at the end it should be easy to see that it works or it doesn't work. So now if I go to RDS console, I can see the DemoDB is starting with my SQL community version. Probably it's gonna to use version 8.0 as I specified. So that's it. I'm not gonna to do anything more and investigating which parameters user should pass and should not pass. I really don't have time for that. Sometimes I wish, but not really. So where is this issue? So then I'm coming back here. Yes, there should be support for MySQL 8.0. Please consider check. Oh my god, yeah, typing is challenging. So, okay, two things challenging today, OBS and typing. Well, no, it's just impossible to type. Okay. So, meanwhile, it is creating and it will take a lot of time or not. There are a few flags which can relate or which I can say true or false to increase speed of this. Some of these flags are related to size of an instance, and another may relate to multi-AZ or may enable to backup retention. So if I say that I don't care about backups, like here, I disable backups, then it means that it will be much faster. And a few other tricks which you just have to try out. But as most of you are using Terraform modules pretty much once or twice, you're going to just go to example, see what are most commonly used parameters here, and try to understand which all of them are doing and what exactly does it expect. And if this doesn't contain enough information for you, you can go to either README and try to understand this information here. In most situations, this information is not helpful at all because it's not ordered, it's not grouped in any way. So you will have to just search by keywords and figure out which one you need to enable or disable. There are no easy ways, as far as I can tell, how you can provide this information in automated way and to keep it useful. That's why I write in README usually something like different use cases or different features highlighted. For example, conditional creation can be done like this. And examples are always the best place to show. If you need to enable enhanced monitoring, there is an example. Replica for MySQL and for Postgres, because there can be some differences, is there. And a complete RDS example for each of these database is also a good starting point, because databases are so different and some values can be simply not allowed in another database. Okay, so it's still creating this database. Meanwhile, I really want to struggle with this text field and type C more. Well, no, that's not C. No. Yeah. Does anyone know any trick in OBS to calm down a little bit, because it's not usable anymore? Okay. Yeah. So also Sergey Vasilenko say hello. Hello to you too. Honestly, I'm not sure about 1080 resolution, because I think I'm already using 1080, but I may be wrong. If I make a screen really easy for everyone to use, then I will increase font. Then I cannot do much with it, because my screen is too big for that. So it will be very small font size for me. Okay, finally, I managed to paste this link into comment field, and I think I can just close this issue, because this is supported. I have verified it myself manually. Well, I anticipate some questions and some feedback from people, maybe a little bit later stage. Why are you doing this manually? Why you're not using automation? Well, I use automation, but I use it in so little places, or so small, so small fractions during my work, that I have not had chance to show it yet. So my automation usually limited to run some shell script to release it. Running Terraform init plan apply is absolutely the simplest thing, so I don't need any automation for that. If you are thinking that I could run something like some sort of testing framework to do that, you're absolutely right. I can use simplest way of Kitchen Terraform, which is already in use in some projects, but it's just overkill here. So creation of MySQL 8.0 takes already 8 minutes. Maybe this is related to the version of MySQL, because I remember I was working with version 5 and it took 5 minutes. Now MySQL 8 takes 8 minutes. Good correlation. Okay, so what can we do next? While it's creating, it's fine. Let's see. There are many other things which can be done. Where is this? Right. No, where is it? This one, for example. Confusing error message while providing passwords. just by reading this one, I understand that this is wrong place where this person is asking, because I have no clue how to do this inside of the module, and this has to be done inside of Terraform AWS provider. So wording and updating of description is not what I can do at all in module. So I will type something like please open issue in Terraform AWS provider, because there is nothing what we can do here. And sometimes this seems a little bit arrogant for many people because they don't understand what is actually limitation of module provider, Terraform core, and so on. But that's how it is. So let's write some more code. That's exactly the plan, but as you can see, I'm not good in typing today, thanks to OBS. Well, I think OBS should be sponsor of this stream, because I have so many difficulties with this program. Okay, nevertheless, let's find another issue somewhere. Luckily, I have a lot of issues available, so let's go to this one. So this one is, well, remove general name tags on example. As you probably know, tagging is very tricky thing to do consistently and across different type of resources. When I was working on VPC module, I was investigating and trying to come up with different strategies of providing dynamic tagging for resources, and at the same time fall back to default values. So I can show this pull request itself is saying that, hey, please remove name tag, because name tag is not being used here. So if you well, maybe I can increase font in this one. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay, cool. So this person asked to remove name tag from the module itself, from example. Okay, so now let's look into this example and see exactly where things are going. So here, example, complete VPC, main, bunch of different values. I honestly don't remember more than 5 of them by heart, but I'm good at searching. So this line 123 can be removed, or person says that can be removed. Okay, let's see how tagging is actually working. So inside of main TF, if we look into VPC, AWS VPC resource, we can see that first we specify tag which is consistent just name of this VPC, and then we are appending default tags for all resources which are available there, and then we are appending specific VPC tags. So what it means is that if user does not specify anything inside of tags which he wants, then VPC will be called user name. So this is going to be just this case. If user specify that all resources which he wants to have should have specific tags, then it will merge this map, which contains just one key, with another map. So if name is present in 2 of these, then second one will take precedence and it will use the default tags. So in our case, that's exactly what is happening. So this name tag will be used, and this resource will be name tag, or it will be name equal complete as was specified. Then user wants to specify VPC tags and it merge it one more time. By default, tags and VPC tags are empty. Let's read a little bit more what well, Gustavo. I really like to call people by names, and I hope it's okay. I'm not how to say upsetting someone by pronouncing their name loud. So Gustavo said that the default one for the public subnet will be this one instead of complete. Well, let's double check. I don't remember how this is done for subnet, because subnet are rather specific. They have notion of availability zones and so on. So subnet, where is subnet? Well, of course I could search, but my keyboard is having huge delay. So it's easier probably to scroll. Here is it, subnet. Okay, inside of subnet we have, by default it's creating this name, and then it appends default one and then specific to subnet. Well, that's exactly the same behavior as on other resources. So what Gustavo wants is that this complete tag should not be respected for subnet. So the solution for that one should be that he has to specify public, well, yeah, copy. So these tags are specific for all resources, and yeah, typing is not easy, but okay. Name and something. Okay, so now if I specify name here and name there, then subnet will use the second one, which is public subnet. If you need to override it, or if you don't want to override it, then just don't set it in a name here. But by default, we want to have name tag here so that we can identify resources quite easily by tag. So this pull request is not so much destructive, or is not so much critical, I would say. It's just making easier for people to discover how tag propagation and how merging of tags work across different resources. So that's why I close this pull request, because there is not much what we can change to satisfy this specific use case. Well, if you need to understand how tagging works, always look into source code and see what is merged and in which order. This example just showing how things can be set, but it doesn't mean that your specific requirements will be satisfied if you follow just this example. So that's why it was closed. Okay, this one is what is this? Monitoring role I ran, empty value. Well, this one is probably it's not very much related, or is a little bit harder to investigate again, because RDS is crazy, and just now it finishes creation of database. So MySQL 8.0 has been finally created. Fantastic. So it took 14 minutes. Well, now I'm so happy that I can destroy it. There are a few things which I sometimes verify as well, that once I create this resource and I was making different things related to conditional creation or some overrides of resources, then it may make sense to run Terraform plan one more time, and plan should contain no output or no changes to be done. This is extremely important for many resources. In Terraform 0.13, outputs or changes in outputs are also reflected inside of plan, which honestly I don't understand why this is important, or at least I wish to have this as a configurable flag somewhere, because in some cases I don't really care if outputs are going to be changed or not. That's pretty minor, I would say, at least in some cases. Some resources like Lambda functions may produce outputs change in so many different cases that you don't even want to think about it. So here I may run Terraform apply or Terraform plan one more time, but I will really, I'm really hoping that my search will work now. Well, no. Okay, I wanted to type Terraform destroy -force just because it would be faster, but no way, it doesn't work. Okay, so let's see maybe some other issues which can be done. Or yeah, actually I found one issue which I wanted to mention, because it seems that a lot of people are struggling with understanding how this actually works. So when you are specifying, this is a IAM, no, this is, which module is it? This is Lambda module. Ah, okay. Yeah, inside of Lambda module or in IAM modules, it's also similar issue. So when you have to specify this piece of code, okay, and you have count element or count meta argument here. So you have count, and then you specify some condition here, and then another condition here, and then you want to have length of this one. So the problem which will be here, and this person, again, name of this person is Zintogn. Okay, Zintogn, okay, anyway, topic starter says that why do we have to use number of policies? Why cannot we just use length var policies and let Terraform calculate itself? Like if you're coming from programming background, certainly you would use something like length and calculate length in real time, and that's the right way to do. Unfortunately, Terraform is not able to calculate part of dependencies in real time. So once Terraform running Terraform apply, it will try to calculate from the beginning and until the very end all the resources which has to be modified. And if you are specifying var policies like this, and your var policies are actually going to be produced as a result of output of another module, then Terraform doesn't know how many resources will be created. And that's why we need to introduce static value like number of policies. Now let me show it in code. So this is happening in many places. This issue was reported in Lambda module. So let's open Lambda module. Lambda module is probably here. IAM. Well, again, typing was bad thing to do. So hopefully I will find it faster. Yes, finally. Okay, so this is a block which was referenced. So here you have var number of policies, and this should be already well known by the time when you execute Terraform. So a few things which you can do here. One is that you can use one number of policies, like I do here, because this module is going to be used in situation where dynamic values will be passed here. Or I can also use static values as well as dynamic. So if I go to examples and then to complete example and main, and here I can see this example exactly. So number of policies. So here you can see that I'm attaching policies, I'm specifying list of policies, and I'm also specifying number of policies. So in this example, this is not necessary to have like this. So that's if this would be the only case which has to be supported, then definitely we can use something like length. Type in something like length from the code and then calculate it in the module. But this value of policies can be linked as okay, I have this example in AppSync module, which I have published just recently. So if I reference to it, let's say, where is it? Yeah, if I can reference it to value statically like this, like a string, that's one thing. But if I use dynamic reference, module.name.output_name, then I need to use number of policies or static values. So there are a few situations when you can, or how you can work around this. How to do this? Okay. Let me show AppSync example. AppSync is AWS service to have managed GraphQL. Here I am defining data sources. It doesn't matter what is it really. The point is that this function I ran may be already well known by the time when you run Terraform apply, because it was created before. Or you can use something like module and calculate it in real time. The way how you can do this is that if output from this module is already in your state file and Terraform already knew about it before, then you can reference it like this. So how you can put it into state file? Well, the easiest way is to run Terraform apply -target and specify module AWS lambda function. And what will happen is that Terraform will execute everything what is necessary, but it will do this only scope to the module you targeted. So this way, if you have a lot of infrastructure resources, bunch of different modules interconnected, and you have cases like count is referencing to unknown computed values, then you can say, okay, first one, run Terraform apply target and target to specific module, and then run Terragrant apply or Terraform apply, sorry, and it will run everything else. And everything what has been created before will be already resolved, and Terraform will successfully make it. So that's the easiest way to do this. Well, Terragrant also help with this, but we are talking about Terraform today, I guess. So let's see. Wow, 1 hour has passed and no one disliked this video. That's exceptional. I can tell to my son that I'm becoming a streamer, because now he is watching Minecraft and occasionally he watch my conference talks about Terraform. Now he will see me more often. That's pretty cool. Okay, so yeah, I will answer this here once I close OBS. Okay, what other issues people have in this? If you have questions, please raise your question here and we can go through that. It's easier for me to talk about something what many people are interested than talking about things which I have to go through anyway. I have to go through these modules anyway, and I have to answer these questions. But some questions are so tricky or so specific that why you have such problem? Well, because OBS is currently consuming 205% of CPU. That's why everything is extremely slow. So that's the downside. And I have no clue how to configure it better. So if anyone have experience with running OBS, no, it's on Mac. So Linux, I don't even want to think. Does it even work? Well, probably it works, but on Mac it should be fine. And before this stream, I actually tested it. I was the only one who attended my own stream, and it was perfectly fine. Okay, let me ask a few questions, people who are here. What do you want to go through next time? So this time we are almost out of time, but for yeah, it should be fine on Mac. I understand, and I don't know actually, but yeah, I will research this afterwards. So there are a few things which I want to hear from you guys. So the first one is whether there are specific things which you want to go through. Well, honestly, I want to do much more development, and today this was planned, to that I will actually type more than 20 characters, but actually do something. It didn't work out, but for the next time, I want to go through maybe more Terraform AWS modules, specific questions. If you have any, I will be glad to answer. But I also want to go through different things and developing new stuff, which I still need to do for existing projects or for new projects, mostly related to serverless. So I started serverless TF framework where I describe some things, how this can be done. I made a simple project as Playground, which is, well, it's serverless TF Playground. Well, this is a project. So where I put different serverless components together and show how this can be done. Please tell me what do you think about most interesting part. I've heard about Terragrant, a few requests already. So Terragrant will definitely come, but I don't want to just repeat common things about Terragrant, how cool is it, why you should use it. It would be just too boring, right? It would be much more interesting if we talk about some unusual cases or some challenges which you face, or some downgrade performance which has happened recently, and so on. So something what you are struggling would be interesting for many people. So please come up with topics either here, or you have a lot of ways to reach out to me: email, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and of course GitHub issues as well. If this is public, I usually don't mind to discuss things in public because more people will interact with it. But if it's something what you want to discuss privately, that's totally fine. One more thing which is in my, or which I actually planning to do more, is to do some tool reviews related to Terraform. For example, there are pretty big spike in tools related to cost estimation is one tool, one group of tool, and another group of tool is related to security and compliance assessments. So when we are writing Terraform code, we still want to know how much it costs, in first place, and second one is do we break any policies, how to discuss these policies, and so on. If this sounds interesting, then we can do some reviews of different tools which I'm thinking about, or which I'm aware of, starting from Chekhov, TF-lint, TF-sec, Terrascan, ConfTest, OPA in general, maybe Sentinel, but well, Sentinel, I don't have so much access and so much insight into it, even if I wish, but that's not what I have access to. So if this sounds interesting, just think about this and let me know. So what else do we want to do today? About cost tools. Okay, so about cost tools, when is it? Well, in 2 weeks there will be some announcements, I guess. But yeah, okay. So cost tools is great request by Ruslan. Thanks. Currently, we are using Terraform workspaces. Well, let me. How I can show this even? Well, for workspaces, I have even dedicated background. But anyway, currently we are using Terraform workspaces for separate environments, prod and stage for now, but might be more in future. Should we better use TerraGrant to separate environments? Well, if you've been following my work, then the answer is definitely yes, yes, yes. And I have few explanations why this is better, to my opinion. Is that when we are working with Terraform and we are describing infrastructure as configuration files, we need to be as descriptive as possible. So that's exactly where the value of infrastructure as code is. If you have your infrastructure encrypted somehow in a form of workspace selectors and then embed this magic into your configuration files by including specific files or by creating resources conditionally based on name of the workspace, you are not getting the whole value of workspace. And that's my main recommendation. Start using Terraform open source version and try to use as little features there as possible. I had a workshop yesterday and I answered the same question there. And then I was thinking, what are features which I think people are overusing, or like not overusing, but abusing, which features people abusing when they work with Terraform and they think it's okay, or at some point I hear people complaining in chats that, oh, Terraform model is not good fit for us, or it doesn't do good job. Well, as always with different tools, you need to understand how you can use it and how you should use it. These two definitions are slightly different. Terraform offers way too many features for you without too much restriction. For example, just recently they started to highlight that using -target in command line arguments is a bad idea. Well, it is maybe not best idea, but in some cases, like I mentioned earlier with computed values, it is still the only idea, or it is only way how you can do it easily. So usually people use workspaces without understanding that it's better to not use them. And another feature which I see people using is using object type of variables. That's just overkill in most cases. You will be better with flexible configurations by just defining map of any or map of list of any or any, but instead of being very precise with object and then failing in the middle. So that's my like general observation when I see people code. Well, yeah, like, subscription, and the notification. Every time when I watch videos, I I don't understand why people have to highlight this so much. So I don't think I will repeat this or I will mention this. So yeah, you know what to do anyway, right? It's not the first stream or the first video which you watch. Anyway, so Terraform versus Pulumi. Well, Terraform is allowing you to describe infrastructure as configuration files. Configuration files are intended to be used by node developers also, while Pulumi requires everyone to have computer science degree. It depends what do you want to do. Flexibility wise, Terraform is not less flexible than Pulumi to my mind. I have not worked with Pulumi for anything bigger than Hello World and running a few examples here and there, but the jump from Terraform to Pulumi was not straightforward at all. So earlier this week I looked into Terraform for CDK or CDK for Terraform, which was released in alpha when 16th of July, exactly on my birthday. It was pretty unusual present, but anyway. So I would really compare Terraform not with Pulumi, but Terraform for CDK versus Pulumi, or CDK for Terraform. I don't really remember the name. Pulumi in general is a different type of tool. Terraform is way easier to get started, and you can do much more with that in short amount of time, while Pulumi is designed by engineers for engineers to have nightmares. At least that's my experience. I didn't have pleasant experience when I started using it, and I looked into it a few times later. It's real programming language. Well, I don't want to do programming for infrastructure. I want to say what I want to create, and it should be extremely easy for me to understand. Not just for me, but also for people who are new to programming. So I would really appreciate tool like any of this where I don't have to see internals. That's why I like hiding complexity inside of modules, inside of different packages, libraries, whatever, but it is there. But for end users, it's all exposed as very simple primitives like arguments which you pass to a module and so on. So I would say for next few months at least, it will be Terraform for sure, and then we'll see. This scope is not static at all. There are tools coming up back and forth. New tools, killers of TerraGrant are popping up from different directions. Well, they're popping up, but they're not sticking for a very long time. So we'll see. Terraform EKS modules with MSK and RDS Postgres. MSK, is it managed service Kafka? Is it? And RDS Postgres. I'm not sure I understand the question by Alexander. But I think that Terraform EKS module is definitely big, and I will be very glad to have stream or some sort of cooperation with core contributors to that module. I have not used it myself for anything real, so I was not even looking into how different design decisions were made, because these people use it in real for real things, and that's what is differentiating all of us versus some other companies who are also writing Terraform modules and trying to do the same thing. The biggest difference is we all actually using these services and modules ourselves. So if I find some issues, then I will fix it immediately and release it immediately. That's no hesitation. So Amazon manage streaming Apache Kafka. Yeah, exactly. I have no clue what you're talking about, Maxim. I have not worked with this service at all. I know that it exists, but I'm not able to make that one. The way how I start modules and how I work on them is that there has to be real use case for that. So if there is a customer who come to me and say, we want to develop, let's say, CloudWatch module. There was no CloudWatch module which does things for, let's say, CIS compliance check and a few other things. So then this customer sponsored the development, and then I developed this module, and now I maintain it. So that's pretty much a story for all Terraform AWS modules. There are no modules which are there, which at least one of us are not using. So please bring customer who is asking for MSK, and we can discuss. Also, occasionally I've heard requests from people, and they were pretty active, proposing different kind of modules and say, this is a module which I develop. It does certain things. Can we put it into Terraform AWS modules and everybody can use it? So now this is not happening so often. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm getting stubborn, or I don't know why. But people sometimes assuming that if you write some code and it was just easier, that this code is pushed and then there is no maintenance. Well, I wish actually to put some label on some of my projects where I say this project is done, but I am not interested in maintaining it. And what I did previously is that I put abandoned. So I put abandoned label on some of my repositories because I don't have time or don't have interest to maintain it. So if you have any good suggestions which you want to contribute, that's always great. But just be aware that you will have to support it and maintain and answer a lot of questions from random people. And sometimes these questions are rather time consuming, not like today. It took me a very short amount of time to figure out MySQL 8.0 support, but sometimes these questions require some documentation reading, talking to some other developers, actually using this service myself, or even for a little while, like this managed streaming for Apache Kafka, for example. Yeah. Okay, so if we don't have any other things to go through, or do we have any other things to go through? I see that my green background, which is actually green towel, moved away. Good, now it's better. Okay. Yeah, so thanks everyone for participating, and thanks for asking questions. I'm planning to do this at least weekly for now, because there are a few other events which I organize, like meetups and conferences as well. I'm willing to do this more open, so there will be some Lightning Talks conference, which will be, I think, 17th of November. It will be organized here by our Oslo or Norwegian community, but everyone is welcome to participate. I will share this information later. Okay, now the question how to end this stream. Okay, guys, thank you very much.